Welcome and thanks for joining us on today's Around the World Armchair Adventures, where we bring to you a series of travel information sessions. Sit back and enjoy for the next 30 minutes or so discovering the world of Wendy Wu Tours. Hi, I'm Angelina from Wendy Wu Tours, and here at Wendy Wu Tours, we have been inspiring travellers to Asia and beyond for over 25 years, and we are known as Australia's leading Asia touring specialists, offering group tours, private tours, tailor-made holidays, short stays, and stopovers. We offer unrivaled knowledge and expertise through our comprehensive range of escorted group tours with excellent value inclusions. We also have expert national escorts and local guides and provide an exciting range of journeys to must-see destinations. In today's Armchair Adventure, we uncover the mysterious ancient and modern-day wonders throughout Central Asia. Our tours through Central Asia offer dramatic landscapes across the historic trading route of the legendary Silk Road, the crossroads for the movement of people, goods, and even ideas between Asia and Europe. Throughout this dramatic and diverse region, we discover its culture, people, and landscapes filled with historical influences, and you can immerse yourself in these destinations and new experiences along the way. On our tours, you may find yourself away from the comforts of home, but you'll be rewarded with unique cultural interactions with local people and unforgettable sights along the way. Central Asia is home to the five stands, and in the region stretches from the Caspian Sea in the west to China and Mongolia in the east, and from Afghanistan and Iran in the south, right up to the north on the Russian border. The region consists of the former Soviet republics being Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, and Uzbekistan. Now, Australian visitors require a visa for Turkmenistan and Tajikistan, which are included on our group tours for Australian passport holders. Now, the five major ethnic groups in Central Asia are the Uzbek, Kazakh, Tajik, Turkmen, and Kyrgyz. Linguistically, all of these groups, with the exception of the Tajiks, whose language is more like modern-day Persian, speak languages that are derived from the Turkic language family and resemble Turkish in different regional dialects. Russian is no longer spoken, especially amongst the younger generations these days. Now, throughout Central Asia, credit cards are not widely accepted. Therefore, we recommend that you bring spending money in USD cash, which can be exchanged locally. Our tours operate in the best seasons that travel throughout spring and autumn typically. Now, with a total population of 90 million people throughout, Kazakhstan, the former Soviet state closest to the Russian border, is the largest and richest country in the region, and its largest city being Almaty with 2 million people. Landlocked Kyrgyzstan has a population of over 6 million people, with the majority living in its capital of BISHKEK. Here you will see stunning natural scenery, nomadic tradition, yurt homes, and all around you will see the snow-capped mountains of Tian Shan, the Heavenly Mountains. In contrast, Uzbekistan is an arid country consisting of rugged desert landscapes surrounded by rocky valleys and mountains with traditional Islamic architecture style, offering a diverse cultural heritage filled with friendly locals and amazing scenery. Now, its neighbour Turkmenistan is home to the famous flaming crater of DARVAZA. Tajikistan offers glorious natural scenery, including Lake KARAKOL and breathtaking sights along the famous Pamir Mountains. These regions are largely travelled by road, and we travel by air-conditioned coach bus and also from the major cities via plane. Now, we also travel throughout high altitude areas on these tours. Now, one of the major festivals celebrated in the springtime is Ramadan. This month-long holy Islamic festival of sacrifice is where followers abstain from food and drink from sunrise to sunset. Travellers are not expected to adhere to these customs, but some businesses and tourist sites opening hours may be affected. However, overall, there will be minimal disruption if your tour is travelling between these dates. Ramadan is an opportunity to travel through Kyrgyzstan and Uzbekistan, witnessing the fascinating national holiday for yourself. Now, we fly with our preferred airline partners, Emirates via Dubai, for these tours throughout Central Asia, which is approximately 14 hours from Australia, depending on the stopover time. Now, we also offer stopover and short stay packages should you wish to extend your holiday. We have two tours throughout Central Asia. The first is our 23-day Go Beyond Tour, Road to Samarkand, which is a fully inclusive Go Beyond tour that offers all meals, including international flights, and of course visa fees are included on this tour. Now, this tour takes you beyond and takes you on a journey along 2,000 plus years of Central Asian Silk Road history. Here you will discover the colourful markets and Swiss Alp-like scenery of Kyrgyzstan, the ancient cities of Samarkand, Bukhara and KHIVA, and travel along stunning scenery throughout the footsteps of the great explorers and conquerors of the regions. Now, highlights on this tour include visiting the mysterious and exotic Samarkand. We stay in Fergana Valley here, where we visit the famous Maghilian markets. We also discover the holy city of Bukhara and wander through the ancient town of KHIVA. Now, we get to mingle with nomads in Kyrgyzstan, and this tour will take you off the beaten track as well to see the nomadic way of life through the traditional yurt camps. Now, we also stroll through the vibrant bazaars and discover timeless, ornately decorated cities. Now, we also take you to the tranquil waters of HISOR Lake, which is the world's second largest alpine lake. And here you can enjoy a relaxing cruise as you admire the spectacular views of the rugged Almaty Mountains. Now, in KOCHKOR, we visit the wonderful local cooperative where women are trained in traditional Kyrgyz handicrafts and are given a space to sell their work, which allows them to earn a wage and also keep these old traditions alive. Now, one of Central Asia's most iconic experiences is where we witness the skill and majesty of golden eagle hunting. This is an age-old practice, and it is spectacular where we see this in the Kyrgyzstan's highlands. So overall, this itinerary is a level 3 that requires a good level of fitness, which involves hiking, walking, and traveling through remote areas where tourist facilities are less developed. And this also includes longer days traveling via road and traveling through high altitude areas. So on this tour, you will venture off the beaten track to explore fascinating destinations away from the tourist trail. You will discover the local culture in depth and see sights rarely witnessed by other travellers. Now, accommodation on this tour has been selected for convenience of location, comfort and character, and can range from 3 to 4 star standard style hotels in one city to a family run guest house in a smaller town. Now, there are many other highlights on this tour, which I will show you next as we explore the sights along the road to Samarkand. We start our tour here in Bishkek, the capital of Kyrgyzstan, which has a population of 900,000 people. The city did not develop until 1825 when the KHUJAND Khanate enclosed the site as a fortress. By 1864, the Russians had captured the fortress and in 1878 founded the city of Bishkek. Bishkek is a city of wide boulevards and marble facade buildings combined with numerous Soviet-style apartment blocks laid out on a grid pattern. Here we also visit Almaty Square, which was built in 1984 to commemorate the 60th anniversary of the Kyrgyz Soviet Socialist Republic. Today, the square serves as a site for many state events. Now, also outside the city, we visit the 12th century Burana Tower, and we also see the stunning views of the Armchair National Park. As we journey outside Bishkek city sights, we see the natural wonders of the Armchair National Park, where you will stop at the park's base camp and embark on a 1-hour hike through the wilderness and see the stunning scenery all around. Now, Armchair is an alpine national park in the Tian Shan Mountains. The name Armchair translates as bright juniper. Now, this is because the whole gorge is covered in the various juniper trees which line the snow-capped mountains and freshwater lakes. In CHOLPON-ATA, the resort town on the northern shore of Lake Isikal, it literally means Venus Father. The town contains numerous large and small hotels and guest houses to accommodate the many visitors who descend upon the lake in the summer months. During the Soviet era, it was very much frequented by vacationers brought en masse from Russia. However, now, holidaymakers usually originate mainly from Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. The location of the town is very attractive, with the view of the imposing alpine ranges of the Tian Shan Mountains. The lake is one of the stunning and the most deepest lakes in the world and sits in the hollow surrounded by the snow-capped peaks of the Tian Shan Mountains east of Kyrgyzstan. Now, explorers in the 19th century marveled at the lake, one calling it a blue emerald set in a frame of silvery mountains. Now, we visit the scenic north shore of Lake Isikal, viewing the stunning alpine scenery on a 1-hour cruise. Now, this is also home to a large open-air collection of the rock drawings known as the petroglyphs of Ibex, with drawings of wolves and deer etched into glacial stone that dates back to the 8th century. We visit the Russian town of KARAKOL, and here we also see the interesting Przhevalsky Museum, which is dedicated to the Russian explorer Nikolai Przhevalsky. And he was most famous for contributing substantially to Europeans' knowledge of the Central Asia geography. Now, we also will visit the Holy Trinity Orthodox Cathedral. This church was built out of wood on a brick base, finished in 1895 on the ruins of a stone church. It is said that during construction, no nails or metal fastenings were used at all, and you will see this distinct Russian architectural style. KARAKOL is also famous for its Sunday animal markets, which are located on the outskirts of town. The unforgettable KARAKOL Sunday animal markets are the largest in Kyrgyzstan, and this is where you will see the typical markets where you'll observe locals bargaining over thoroughbred horses and sheep, and all set amidst the backdrop of the white-topped Tian Shan Mountains. Now, the weekly bazaar gives you a good insight into the culture and the livelihood of the people here. On this tour, we also get to experience an eagle hunting demonstration with trained golden eagles. This is an age-old nomadic hunting style that depicts the authentic hunting traditions that were used to gather food for their families. Another highlight is visiting the ASHGABAT historical caravanserai located in a peaceful valley setting where the only habitation is a series of seasonal yurt camps. For centuries, these lands connecting China and the Middle East and Europe along the Silk Road through countries like Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan were the superhighway of international trade. Caravans of goods travelled in all directions, carrying wares to be traded, necessities or luxuries. They created a moving market that entire economies relied on. Mountains often provide either a backdrop or a foreground, beautiful but foreboding. Often caravanserais or travellers' inns were built in mountainous valleys. The ASHGABAT caravanserai is one of the best preserved on the old Silk Road from China to Istanbul. In Chonkemen National Park, some areas of Kyrgyzstan look as if artists have sculpted and painted nature. This is especially true of the drive between KOCHKOR and Chonkemen National Park. The spectacular valley is almost 80 kilometers deep and is famous for its natural beauty, abundant wildlife and mountainous lakes. Set in a quiet valley with small villages surrounded by magnificent mountains and fir evergreen forests. Here you will enjoy a walk along the foothills of these mountains, as well as witnessing life in the nearby village, and walk up to a scenic viewpoint offering spectacular views of the valley below. Tashkent is home to 3 million people and is the capital of Uzbekistan. Today it is a stunning design of modern day architecture, and it also houses historical relics of the past where you will journey back in time enjoying the many city sights. Tashkent was influenced by Turkic cultures in its early history before Islam in the 8th century AD. Genghis Khan destroyed the city in 1219, but the city was then rebuilt and profited from the Silk Road trade. Between the 18th to 19th century, the city became an independent city-state before being reconquered in 1865 to become the capital of Russia, Turkestan. Tashkent's town sites include the Barakan Madrasa in the heart of the city. This building was damaged in the years that followed the earthquake of 1868, but later restored. Since 2007, it houses the offices of the Spiritual Administration of Muslims of Central Asia, and it's also in the city we visit the Kokuldash Madrasa, one of the biggest and one of the most famous historical monuments in Tashkent, along with the Tilla Sheikh Mosque. The original mosque was built in 1890 and nowadays is one of the largest of its kind in the city. It is also part of the famous historical and religious complex Hast Aman, which is situated in the front of the Barakan Madrasa, and was also the archives of the rare copies of the Quran. Uzbekistan is renowned for its ceramics that date back thousands of years, and here we learn the secrets of their craftsmanship as that has been passed on from one generation to the next as we visit a famous ceramic maker's family workshop. In Tashkent, it is also renowned for its beautiful metro stations. As some of the most stunning in the world, this was the first city in Central Asia to build a metro station, and each of the 29 stations are bespokely designed and uniquely themed and beautifully crafted works of art. Central Asia cuisine is diverse and flavoursome, with a legacy stretching back thousands of years. It is important to keep an open mind and be adventurous on your travels. All meals are largely based on the local produce in the regions, with many influences of the traditional foods with a common meat and dairy basis throughout, typically due to the nomadic lifestyle of the regions, along with hints of Russian Asian cuisine influences. Some of the favourites are samsa, which are meat-filled pastries, a delicious snack, right through to the varying range of breads cooked in the traditional tandoor ovens made of clay. Now, the famous Uzbek round bread, or lepishka, is traditionally eaten with main meals accompanied by fruit or meat. There are many varieties of breads that are made in various ways, including flat breads. Now, all the stands have similar food influences from the Uzbek cuisine, including stew-style dishes such as palov, which is similar to a pilaf, which is a daily favorite made with meat, rice, carrots, and onions. Also, there's meat kebabs, noodles, dumplings, soups, and simple salads and fruits to accompany the meal. Green tea is served with most meals, being the national drink of choice. Now, on our fully inclusive tours and select Go Beyond tours, all or most meals are provided excluding drinks, and you can enjoy a range of the taste of the flavors throughout Central Asia. Discover the true beauty of Samarkand, which is the highlight of our 23-day tour. Samarkand is one of the oldest existing cities in the world and the oldest of Central Asia. And according to local history, when Alexander the Great first visited here, he declared, "I heard that Samarkand was beautiful, but never thought it could be so beautiful and majestic." The finest builders, craftsmen, philosophers and scientists were invited to Samarkand, and the reputation of its refined civilization grew until it was a city of legend and wonder along the Silk Road. Here you can wander through Registan Square, lined on three sides by sparkling turquoise tile buildings. The interior and exterior facades are decorated with ornamental glazed brick, mosaics and carved marble. The square is considered an architectural gem representing the finest in Islamic architecture. We also visit the colourful bazaar located nearby, with so much to see and do as we continue exploring Samarkand, including the Mausoleum of Tamerlane, the grandest structure of Amir Timur times. Plus we also visit the Aksaray Palace with its gigantic 65-metre gate towers covered in stunning blue, white and gold mosaics. We also visit the ruins of Timur's Summer Palace, now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. See the crumbling relic, where it gives you an idea of how Samarkand's buildings would have looked centuries ago. These are just the few of the many historical sites that we visit in the area on our tour, before we head towards the holy city of Bukhara and also the open-air museum city of KHIVA. Our road to Samarkand is one of our most unique and adventurous group tours, tracing the ancient Silk Road, including the fabled city of Samarkand. On this journey through Central Asia, where some regions are remote and not as developed as other westernized tourist areas. This is all part of the adventure for avid travellers who wish to get off the beaten track. The rewards of seeing and experiencing these lands are truly immeasurable. Now, our next popular Central Asia tour is Journey Through Central Asia, 28 days where we retrace the legendary journey of this unforgettable adventure through the 5 stands and visiting the Silk Road gems, charming villages and remote landscapes while soaking up the mystical old world atmosphere. Traveling from BISHKEK to ASHGABAT, we explore the 5-stand cultural experience. This is an in-depth tour that will see you visiting the Silk Road gems of Samarkand, Bukhara and ancient KHIVA. And of course through the quirky Turkmenistan, and you'll see colourful markets, fascinating villages and stunning scenery throughout Kyrgyzstan. Now we also retrace the footsteps of Marco Polo and Alexander the Great on this unforgettable journey. Now, tour highlights include relaxing on Lake Issyk. We also witness a fascinating eagle hunting display, and we also visit a horse stud farm to learn more about the famous Armchair native horse breed. With a distinctive metallic sheen, these majestic animals have played an essential role in Turkmenistan's history and are the emblem of the country. Now we also get to experience the flaming crater of DARVAZA, which is the most memorable part of this tour. We also will get a true taste of the life of the nomads at a shepherd's camp, where we spend the night in a traditional yurt. Now this tour itinerary requires a good to high level of fitness that involves high altitude areas and also hiking and travelling through remote regions where tourist facilities are less developed. And of course our national escorts and local guides will always be with you throughout your journey. Now our Go Beyond group tours consist of between 10 to 18 guests. So let's explore more of these highlights from our Journey to Central Asia tour next. Now on this tour, we do start in Bishkek, and you will see some similar sites that we also experienced on our road to Samarkand tour as a crossover in various cities and regions. So I won't repeat those, but I will point out a few differences and sites that you will experience on our journey to Central Asia tour. Now here in KOCHKOR, now this is a large village of population of 15,000 people. Most of the inhabitants are farmers and shepherds who live in yurts during the summer. Now this town used to be the stop for the Silk Road merchants that were travelling to and from Kashgar on the other side of the Toryugat Pass in China. Now it's a pleasant leafy town that's overlooked by the beautiful snow-capped mountains, and here you will be able to see the traditional wool carpets called sherdak and see how they're made. And also on this part of the tour you will get to sleep in a traditional yurt camp, which is truly a most immersive part and experience like none other on this tour. Along with the many other sites throughout KARAKOL, on this tour we stop at the Bustling Gorge to take in a light hike to a waterfall named Tears of Leopard. The gorge is considered to be one of the most beautiful in the Isikul Lakes area. Now we also explore the Shazkar Canyon, also known as Fairy Tale Canyon. This canyon was named so due to its bizarre rock formations, including depictions of snakes, dragons, and hippopotamuses. Some formations have been named for their similarity to well-known objects, like one set of ridges named the Chinese Wall. Now on this tour we also visit the Valley of Flowers and the Jeti Oguz Gorge, where you can enjoy a light hike through this magnificent canyon of red sandstone. This lush valley is located 30 kilometres outside KARAKOL, and the name literally translates to 7 bulls. Now this refers to the red sandstone rock formations that resemble 7 angry bulls. Now it's also famous for hot springs and of course its stunning natural scenery. Almaty is situated beneath the snow-capped peaks and was the capital of Kazakhstan until 1997. Today, Almaty is the country's largest metropolis and is still considered its cultural and trading hub. The city sites include the Republic Square, Abai Opera Theatre, the Central Mosque, the Green Market and Zenkov Cathedral. Here you will also explore the big Almaty Gorge, where at an altitude of over 2,500 metres above sea level is the Big Almaty Lake. Nestled in the Tian Shan Mountains, you will see this stunning turquoise oasis, which is one of the most picturesque attractions in Central Asia. The Big Lake is 1.6 kilometres long and rests in a rocky bowl, reflecting the beautiful Tian Shan Mountains and the giant fir trees in its still depths. Here in Dushanbe, the capital of Tajikistan, with its Soviet-era pastel buildings and public squares that contrast with the outer hinterlands of the mountains and rural villages, it is one of the most charming capital cities in Central Asia. Its name originated from the Tajik word Monday because of the once popular markets that will be held here each week on that specific day. Now, highlights of this city include the Museum of National Antiquities, which display countless artifacts from the Tajikistan's Islamic and pre-Islamic history. You will also visit the famous 1400-year-old statue of the Buddha of Nirvana. And also you will wander through the beautiful botanical gardens here at Rudaki Park. And here, this is where you will find the scenic park filled with flower gardens, fountains and statues. So you can relax and enjoy the peaceful setting and people watch amongst the locals. Outside Dushanbe is the city of HISOR, which is on the western side of Tajikistan, and it is surrounded by high mountains and is where we visit the fortress of HISOR, which is a strategic outpost where the fortress has been destroyed over 20 times throughout its history by the likes of Alexander the Great, Genghis Khan and Timur. Each time it had to be rebuilt, and today there are remnants of the architecture that remain mostly from the 18th century. This large fort is said to date back to Cyrus the Great and to have been captured 21 times. Another highlight on this tour is visiting KHUJAND, where we stop to see the breathtaking Lake Iskandar, surrounded by the mountains. Here you will spend time gazing at the most memorable views. The lake is named after Alexander the Great, and this lake is popular in its attraction due to its glacier origin and vivid turquoise waters. Here, in one of Tajikistan's oldest cities, dating back 2,500 years, and was founded by Alexander the Great, it is one of the most eastern settlements. Also formerly known as Leninabad during the Soviet occupation, it reverted back to its original name in 1992, and here you can see the impressive architecture in the city as well. Here, amongst the many places we visit on our Central Asia tours, we explore the ancient city of Bukhara, which is the capital city of Uzbekistan and is the nation's 5th largest city and has over 260,000 population. Bukhara itself means full of knowledge, referring to the fact of its past where it was a scientific and scholarship powerhouse. Bukhara is the ancient city of over 2,000 years old and was once the prominent stop on the Silk Road trading route, with the meeting points between east and west. It is also a major medieval centre for Islamic theology and culture. It contains hundreds of well-preserved mosques, madrasas, bazaars, and also caravanserais. Dating back to the 9th and the 17th centuries, Bukhara is famous for its religious monuments, hence the name Holy Bukhara. The city's most famous landmark is the 12th century Kalon minaret, which is said that when Genghis Khan attacked and destroyed the rest of the city, he left the minaret standing, supposedly because he was struck by its beauty. Also known for its souvenirs and its food, you can find the Russian-style fur hats, which are commonly sold here in one of the many souvenir markets. Enjoy the local flavours and cuisine throughout, including the famous Bukharian pilaf and also the stewed lamb dishes, and you'll see this is a true exploration of all the senses. Now here in KHIVA, this is a small town that was founded over 2,500 years ago and is said to have been discovered by the Shem, the son of Noah. The town certainly existed by the 8th century and was a minor fort and the trading post along the Silk Road. Now, KHIVA is a town made for walking. It's compact, well maintained, and here you can bask in the beautiful desert light and see the many city sights. In ASHGABAT, we learn about the famous winged Akal takes horses, which are the national emblem of Turkmenistan and one of the oldest existing horse breeds in the world. Now, we also will stop at the Kipchak complex, which is the largest mosque in Turkmenistan and also the family mausoleum of the country's first president. In the State Museum of Turkmenistan, which was opened in 1998, this museum has 7 permanent galleries incorporating history and present-day culture and ethnology studies. In ASHGABAT, we also visit the old Nisa fortress, which is the residence of the former Parthian Empire from the 3rd century. Formed in an irregular pentagon shape, these restored ruins comprise of a labyrinth of walls and fortifications. You can also enjoy shopping later at the colourful Russian bazaar, offering an array of foods and souvenir stalls. Here you can truly immerse yourself in the everyday Turkmen life, including visiting the National Carpet Museum, which exhibits the array of handmade Turkmen carpets that are on display. Mary is a city on an oasis of the Karakum Desert in Turkmenistan. Merv is the ancient capital city of the Mary region and a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the major archaeological sites in Central Asia. Merv was founded by Cyrus the Great in the 6th century. The Queen of the World was reputedly the largest city in the world in the 12th century. And the city had a population of 700,000 before the Mongol invasion ended her reign in the 13th century, where the entire population of people was killed. Now, here in the Historical Museum, we take a glimpse into the diverse history of this city and see the impressive museum showcases of the archaeological finds from both ancient Merv and the Bronze Age dating back to 3000 BC. One of the biggest highlights that many say on this tour is visiting DARVAZA, the flaming crater, which is towards the end of our tour. Here you will witness where the flames first started in 1971. This 69-meter wide crater was created in a gas field through drilling for gas in the region, which resulted in natural gases being emitted. Geologists believe that by intentionally lighting the gas, that this would be the safest and quickest option to eradicate the gas, which was only expected to burn for a few weeks. The crater has now been burning continuously for 49 years and is known around the world as the Gates of Hell. We take a walk around the perimeter and enjoy a delicious nomadic style campsite dinner under the stars here before returning on the final leg of our tour. Now, this is one of many memorable experiences on our Central Asia tours. For more information on this tour and our Road to Samarkand tour, you can find these on our website at wendywootours.com.au. On our Go Beyond tours, you will discover the local culture and sites in depth with unique experiences in smaller groups, whilst enjoying our great value tour inclusions, as well as our expert national escorts who are with you along the way, sharing their wealth of knowledge for the local history, customs and culture of the regions visited. We want to ensure every guest has an extraordinary experience traveling with us, and you can find your perfect holiday and find more information on our range of tours throughout Asia and Latin America on our website or our brochures, or for more information you can contact your preferred travel agent. Thank you for attending today's Around the World Armchair Adventures. From Wendy and all the team, we hope that this has inspired you. And whilst we may not be able to travel today, next week, or even next month, when the time is right, we will be here. In the meantime, please join us again next week for the next Armchair Adventures, where we hope you enjoy the incredible places that are waiting to be discovered and explored with Wendy Woo Tours. Have a great day and see you next time.